Okay. The meeting will be called to order. I will begin with the land acknowledgement. Our land acknowledgement. Today, I would like to acknowledge that we are on the traditional land of the First People of Seattle, the Warmish people past and present, and honor with gratitude the land itself and the Warmish tribe. We are here to do the work of the Seattle Civil Service Commission. The responsibility is to ensure that Seattle City's workforce reflects the shared values of this community, respect for indigenous people, committed to helping each other. And the time is now 2:02. Next order of business will be introductions. I'll start with myself. My name is Ray Caesar, Chair of the Civil Service Commission.
Denise Wells, Commissioner.
And Commissioner Weidman Williams is absent today. Thank you, Commissioner Caesar. My name is Andrea Sheely. I am the Executive Director of the Civil Service Commission.
Jacobs, Executive Assistant of the Civil Service Department.
Joe Levan in the City Attorney's Office, Legal Counsel for the Commission.
I'm Sarah Butler, City of Operations Policy Advisor, and with me today is Annie Wynn from
Seattle Human Resources, and I'm the CDY Employment Compliant Advisor.
Thank you. Okay, next order of business is for the approval of the September the 8th, 2025 Civil Service meeting minutes. Are there any corrections to the minutes?
None for me.
Hearing none, do we have a motion to approve the minutes for September 8th?
Second the motion.
Motion has been moved and it's been seconded. Okay,
Do you want to will you take a vote, Commissioner Caesar, please?
sure. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All those opposed? Hearing none,
And how do you vote?
I vote in the affirmative.
Great.
Correct. And so that's,
So you're making a motion? So we need a motion and a second.
He did. He moved. She seconded.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
So it's been passed.
This is a pass.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Trying to capture it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So let's see, that next order of business will be hearing from the Executive Director. That's okay.
Thank you, Commissioner Caesar. I'll start with the budget update. I'm glad to share with you all that the mayor's proposed budget for 2026 did not include any significant reductions or any reductions at all that would impact department operations. I do want to share a little bit of information about the budget, and so I'm going to share my screen about the proposed budget. Finally, it's been we are able to share this information. All right, so this document is not a part of your packet, but I do have hard copies here, and I can email this to you or email you a link, Commissioner Wells or any other commissioner who'd like to see it. But this is the Civil Service Department's pages in the proposed budget book. And I just want to highlight for 2024 actuals, our budget was $990,509. In 2025, that was when we saw the reorganization occur, where the public safety exams unit was, instead of this being under the umbrella authority of the Civil Service Department and the Public Safety Civil Service Commission, they were moved into the actual Civil Service Department under direct operational authority of the Public Safety Civil Service Commission and the Civil Service Department as well. So that's why we see this large leap from slightly less than 1 million to almost 300 billion in 2025, both in the adopted and in the adopted. And then for 2026, we do see the endorsed here, but what has been proposed is slightly higher than that, at just over $3 million. We also commensurately see in 2024, we had 3 FTEs and added 7 FTEs in 2025. There were a couple of small adjustments, relatively small adjustments, but this is essentially a status quo budget for the Civil Service Department from 2025. Oh, sorry, my watch is talking. All right, so the incremental changes, and Commissioner Wells, you're pretty familiar with these kind of budget documents, as are you, Commissioner Caesar. But there were some technical adjustments for the AWI. I think the CPI came in a little bit lower than what they had estimated when they negotiated these rates with this coalition of city unions. So there's a slight reduction there for the endorsed. I'm sorry, I skipped over the adjustments up. Baseline costs for city departments, the internal services that we use as a department, went up by about 180,000. Technical adjustments down were about 20,000 for AWI adjustments, almost $2,000 for contribution rates to the retirement system for employees. And then there was a budget neutral adjustment, simply moving the commissioner stipends that you all receive and that the commissioners for the public safety civil service commissioners that they receive to a different part of the budget, but there was no reduction or increase to those amounts. That is for the 2026 proposed. So I got to tell you, we were very glad to see that there were no proposed reductions. I don't know what we'll see. The city council is in its deliberative process right now. They're holding hearings. We have not at this point been asked to come and speak to the city council. I'll try to take that as a good sign. There are some questions and there's additional time for the city council to pose more questions to us. And we'll answer them as best we're able so that they can, make their decisions. I think the final budget vote is on November 21st. So by then we will know what the actual adopted budget will be for 2026. But so far, feeling pretty good about this data. If there are no other questions, I can pull your attention to the budget summary in your packet. Right. Did we have this type of report for the Civil Service Commission last month? Thank you, Teresa. Okay, so I probably explained last month, but I'll just briefly explain again. This is a printout, a PDF of the Finance and Administrative Services new budget tool that they've developed for small departments and executive offices. It's, as you can see, there's a lot of areas to click around. So it's really useful for us. We can, look up very quickly all of our purchase orders or labor expenses. It's really a nice tool, but for your all's information, this kind of gives you a point in time view of where we are for the budget year to date. And it doesn't give you a percentage. Oh, yes, it does. Here we go. Percentage spent before encumbrances, 70%. This was printed on the 7th. Well, no, it was printed on the 3rd. So it's probably a little bit further now. I think we've had one payday since that time, but approximately this is correct. So the Civil Service Department is doing fine, right on track for where we would expect to be this time of year. I do expect our spending will be close to what we were budgeted for this year, which is of course, what we're all aiming for in budgeting. But I'm happy to answer any questions for y'all here in this meeting, or you can contact me directly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Wells. All right. Other updates we have for our departmental work, we welcome new employee Emily Winslow. She is a public safety exams analyst to our team. She's going to be working primarily on police exams, but she will also, as we all do, work cross cross-team on firefighter exam. That is a big body of work that's happening right now. Actually, October 7th, so tomorrow, the window opens for firefighter applications, which is really exciting. Emily comes to us from the National Testing Network, which is the consultant company. They're a rather large company, but we use them for our firefighter exam and our police officer exam. There are consultants for those exams. And so Emily is extremely experienced. She's very pleasant to work with, and we're really excited to finally have her on board and have full staffing in the Civil Service Department. We have also been working hard on the several appeals that are before these two commissions. I'll go into a little bit of update about that when we get to the case status update. Something pretty exciting that's been going on too is you've had a few updates on it. Am I still sharing my screen? No. Okay. Couple of updates on it, but Sarah has been working really hard on our websites. And I'm going to put them up on the screen so she'll have an opportunity to share that with you. Take it away.
All right, this is the new landing page for the Civil Service Commission. Yes, you can scroll down. Their IT this year, I think, not sure, partly prompted by some concern around accessibility and also just wanting to better manage boards and commissions websites. They rolled out a new template, which this is. We worked with them to adapt it to what our needs are. So the users of the website need to know beyond all these sort of navigation at the top, how to fill in the fields and the number one thing. So that's a link that will take us there.
Do you want to tell me if you want me to click on anything?
Okay. Otherwise, it's oriented a bit differently. There's this sort of horizontal navigation bar at the top. Who we are, what we do, meeting agendas and minutes, news, and contact us. If you hover over it, you can see mouse over to the first two where there's the little, yeah, you can see those sort of pop up and go to where you need to go underneath. And then when you click on it, it'll just take you to, this looks pretty familiar to you all around on our website at all. So this is launched. The Public Safety Civil Service Commission should go live, something very similar next week. And I will continue making updates to it. I do a lot of work on the appeals and there are all sorts of things.
Yeah, and there's this, sorry to interrupt you, go ahead. I was just gonna say the Civil Service Department website is also up. So I'm gonna grab that for you. I typed the word website. Find website, please.
Yeah. This is just one landing page. Scroll down, you can get to either commission and you can, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so one of the things that prompted us to have Sarah really lead this work was that we have our two commissions and they do really important, you know, charter required work, but we're also a small department, and the small department piece of our work kind of got lost in the shuffle a lot of the time. And people didn't understand that we actually have employees in this department and we have a budget in this department. And so we're the department houses these two commissions, but also we need to do all of the things and have all of the things that a department has, such as IT and HR support. And we didn't lose any of those things, but just for and for employees to find us. When they have questions, they're not necessarily looking to ask those questions directly of a commissioner. They want to ask it of city staff. And so hopefully with this website, having it be visible on the visible and searchable at the city's website. For instance, here's the city's website. Now you can go, this is so simple, but I think it will be so impactful. You can find us here on the city's departments. It takes you to the Civil Service Department website. And I just cannot tell you how many times people have wondered about where they would find us. And now there'll be a central location, not just for employees, but for the public to find us if they want to. So Sarah has really done a lot of really hard and excellent work here. Good job, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you. Looks good.
You just stop sharing.
Yes.
All right. The only other couple of pieces that I wanted to mention are that we do have a training that we're preparing for the Civil Service Commissioners in November. That date is November 10th at 10 a.m. I know we've been talking about it for a while, so I'm sure you have it on your camp calendars and to-do lists. And we have a joint meeting also scheduled for November, and that's November 21st at 10 a.m.
November 20th, you mean?
21st, I'm sorry, November 21st.
On
November
Friday or
20th.
Thursday? 20th.
November 20th, I guess I've written it down incorrectly on my notes. Thank you,
Okay, just making
Teresa.
sure.
Thank you, everybody. And we're here in October, so I guess this is the meeting before that series of meetings, but the topics at the November 20th at 10 a.m. joint meeting are you'll be with the Public Safety Civil Service Commissioners, and that's the opportunity for you all to do joint work. And a couple of those items are to do a performance evaluation, to complete the performance evaluation for the executive director. That's me. I'll be working with Commissioner Caesar and Commissioner Green, the chairs of the two commissions ahead of that, to hopefully do most of the legwork as they both did last year. Thank you in advance for that, Commissioner Caesar. That will also be the opportunity for the commission to vote on whether to reappoint me to a third term as the executive director of these two commissions. So I hope that you'll vote affirmatively on that. Also to vote on AWI, that's an up or down vote for my position for 2026, and relative to the performance evaluation, to vote on the number of merit days, 0 to 6 for my position or for me. Are there any other business items at that meeting, just as a heads up for these commissioners? Okay.
So
Okay.
we'll see materials for that meeting before the 20th, right?
You will.
Oh, great, thank
You
you.
will. And the ones related to my performance evaluation will not be in the public record, but because that's exempt from the Open Public Meetings Act. And the conversation about it too will be in an executive session.
And just for clarification, if I may, that's going to be from 10 to 11 only, right?
I believe that
Yes.
that's right.
TSPSC is meeting at 15.
And the Civil Service Commissioner doesn't need to be at the PSC. Point.
Correct. All right, so case status report is the next item. And that your case status report is in your packet as well, I think right behind the budget report, yes. So there is one appeal open for the Civil Service Commission, and that is the Brown v. Parks matter. We requested from the parties a status report, and that is due October 10th, so that's this Friday, to make sure that they are on track. But as far as I know they are. So when we may have more to report after the 10th. But that hearing is scheduled for December 8th through 10th, 2025. And that concludes my report. Thank you, Commissioners.
Mhm.
That's good. The next order of business would be a presentation from our guest as well, then give it to Sarah Butler.
Right, thank you.
Yes.
Hello, Sarah Butler. My title is Operations and Policy Advisor here in the Civil Service Department. And with me is Annie Pan.
Again, I'm from Seattle Human Resources, and I do CDY employment compliance.
Next slide, please. We will be talking about civil service and how it shapes and exists within the city's hiring process for non-public safety civil service employees. I'm going to start this by kind of zooming out for civil service. So a lot of these concepts will be familiar to you, but I think it's important for framing up the selection process in civil service. Next slide, please. So the purpose of civil service is to support these two tenets, which are to hire, promote, and retain employees based on their abilities, and to insulate employment from the political pressures and guard against what is known as the spoil system. We have a civil service thanks to our predecessors who established our city charter in 1896 and recognized that working for government can be subject to political urgencies, and that there is a risk if employment is not insulated from political pressures, that employees cannot be retained or hired who deliver critical services that taxpayers and users of our municipal services use. Next slide, please. So how does civil service function? Next slide. So we need to begin talking about civil service with identifying who is covered and who is not. Civil service as an employment framework applies to career employees that endure their career across political administrations. Most employees are covered by it. Those who are exempted are elected officials, appointing authorities, assistant city attorneys, executives, and other titles and positions as determined by ordinance. Exempted employees are known as at will, and they can be separated for any reason that is not built under the law. They also don't require a selection or employment process. Next slide. For employees who are covered by civil service, what are known as the merit principles apply to them. And those are specific processes, standards, and rights that are applied to core aspects of employment for covered employees. The rights that civil service employees are bulleted out here, and they all support merit-based employment. That is open competition for employment opportunities and advancement, hiring and promotion based on merit. They have a protected property interest in continued employment. They receive just cause and due process for discipline and termination, and they have freedom from politically motivated promotion. Next slide. So this is the slide, this is the city's organizational structure. It's a little out of date, but I am including it here because it demonstrates that the city is a really complex organization, and most employees do report up to an elected official. And then there are also departments that have some level of independence, such as those who are led by boards or commissions. There are nearly 35 departments at the city and department heads who appoint and remove employees. It's a federated HR model, and each department has unique hiring needs. So the challenge is how to create standards across as many departments to support the merit principles of civil service for those employees who are covered. Next slide. So the approach that our city has landed on to establish standards and processes for core elements of employment, and by that I mean how employees are hired and then how they are discharged. This is the approach for the federated model. The box on the left shows which civil service activities support merit-based selection and termination and what rules govern them. I've highlighted the activities in purple. These are fundamental activities you see in many or most civil service systems. And then next to them is the policy that governs the personnel rules, which are promulgated by the Seattle Human Resources Director. For each of these activities, some are completed by SDHR, some are completed in departments, and some are a combination of the two. So for these policies to be effective, the standards and processes need independent oversight, and that is the work of the Civil Service Commission. The commission oversees employee appeals and in some cases, political patronage complaints and investigations. And the city's civil service system is enforced by kind of a complaint-based system that appeals and complaints around political patronage. Next slide. So how do civil service principles inform the city's hiring policies and practices? At this point, I'm going to hand it over to Annie, who, as the citywide employment compliance advisor, she has a very important role in auditing how departments complete the selection processes and the standards under the personnel rules. And next slide, please. We're going to kind of go through some of the major rules that are involved, and then she's going to talk a little bit about how she implements and oversees them every day.
Thank you, Sarah. So we will focus on chapter 4, which is the employment section of the personnel rule. The rule, it basically incorporates the civil service fundamental. It basically saying the open consideration of candidates based on their abilities to perform the duties of the position. Some exam positions do not require civil service selection process. Some employment law and temp compliance rule may apply to those exam positions. So I will go a little bit into the personnel rule 4.1 and 4.2. As the SHR director delegate, I oversee and ensure compliance on all the job posting, including civil service position, civil service exam, temporary internships, so all jobs before it go live, being published for recruitment. I ensure that we meet all the requirements, and then I will go further into exactly what I'm looking for in doing my review. And then the department, they can also request for an advertisement waiver, and that have to be in accordance with the 9 reasons stated in the personnel rule and any applicable collective bargaining agreements. This year, we have had up to 1,300 requisitions and with over 100 jobs currently posted right now.
Is there still a hiring freeze, Annie?
It just lifted, like a couple of weeks ago when the mayor announced make it budget the speech.
Okay.
Back when it was lifted.
Oh, wow.
They didn't like announce it officially, but I heard from the department and then I double checked with the mayor's office and they said it has been lifted.
Thank you.
Next slide, please. So the city department, they must establish and provide a copy of the selection process procedure to SHR director according to the rule. So last year, the talent acquisition unit partnered with the workforce equity unit on a special project where we met with each city department to collect the most updated hiring manuals. After we met with them, currently right now, the workforce equity team is reviewing all the submitted material to ensure that they are being consistent across the city.
That's great.
And personnel rules are established and they do allow for departments to have some discretion as long as it doesn't conflict with personnel rules. But departments are submitting their own processes.
Sure, and there's all different sizes and sort of levels of resources that departments have.
Yeah. So then at the minimum, they must advertise in the advancement opportunity, advertise advancement opportunity internally, and they can also advertise externally. And they must describe the nature of the job, the complexity of the position duty, and the required minimum qualification. So when I review for and approve already job posting, some of the criteria that I'm looking for, it make sure that they use the right classification, posting duration, make sure it's consistent across the city. I ensure that the minimum qualification it reflect the class spec that had established, and then also make sure that it met any requirement from the any CBA collective bargaining agreements, as well as LMI requirement on the full salary range and also the benefit information.
Annie, is there like a standard length of time?
So for local 17 representative position, they require 2 weeks, which is 1 week internal, and then first, and then they can go external. So based on that practice, we established the standard practice for the whole city on our job. We recommend that 2 weeks minimum, and it's closed on a Tuesday at 4 p.m. at like a standard practice, so that everyone in the public and city employee know that our job posts at on a Tuesday at 4 p.m. Next slide, please. So, and then this is when the department, they complete their own selection process. They will continue the hiring process. And I don't have an active role during the selection process. This is completely handled by the department. So I approve the job posting, and then do the whole SME review and interview process. And then with the next slide, it will talk about before the final appointment, we will have to complete an audit. So it's usually known as the qualification audit. So once they have identified the finalists, they send these candidates to me. And what I do is that I compare their application materials against the qualification they're posting on the job posting to ensure that they meet or exceed the minimum qualification that was advertised, including any licensing or special requirements. And no job offer should be made unless we perform the qualification audits.
And Annie, you do that for every single hiring process in the city of Seattle?
Yes, for civil service cover positions. Some department, they have been asking me to do qualification audits on temporary and out of class, just to so that they can stay consistent. As far as like promotion too, because sometimes it will lead into a promotion, and this is where we want to ensure that anyone who go into any job, make sure that they meet the minimum qualifications.
Mm-hmm. Is it also for instance, non-executive departments like the law department and
yeah, if the some law department, they have only like very
they have very few.
positions that are a civil service cover, but if they do, then they still send those over to even for the court or legislative for all city branches and offices.
Your position is really important for the civil service.
Thank you.
Oh, and then I take this over. So yeah, this is just to say failure to follow selection processes can put the department at risk of receiving a political patronage complaint, and it could be subject to a grievance or appeal. It's not common, but it does happen. I need to do some additional research, but I have been looking around in the database, and I did find an instance in the 1990s, I think, where a department appointed 6 employees to some positions, and they didn't have any selection process at all for those. They didn't advertise it. And the commission heard it and then did order them to run the processes again. It's not clear if there were incumbents that had to be removed from positions, but that is something that the commission might have to consider. That happened again.
Can you hear that, Denise? You're muted. She's muted.
So that is a case I'd like to read. It's deep in the archives somewhere, but there is kind of some evidence.
Sorry, I saw that Commissioner Wells said something, but I never got what it was. Thank you so much, Sarah and Annie, though. I'd love to hear what Commissioner Wells had to say. If it's a comment or a question. Can you help her now?
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Because I
Yeah.
was coughing over here. No, I don't
Oh.
have any questions. It was great. Thank you.
No.
Questions?
No, thank you.
Annie, I have really enjoyed learning about your work. As I said, I think it's extremely important for civil service, and I'm really glad, you and I had not met until a short time ago, but I'm so glad that you've been doing this job. How long have you been doing this role?
So I've been with the city over 17 years and I have been doing this job for over 10 years.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for your service.
I have found that even though they're exempt, that sometimes departments still use the same processes, even for exempt positions.
That's great.
Which I think is nice to have that standard.
That is really nice. Yeah.
I mean, I think it shows that people value it, that they're, even willing to use it if they don't have to.
Yeah, that they want to hire a qualified, hopefully the most qualified person for the position. We like that we like it in all positions. It is in all of our interest.
Okay,
Great, that's the presentation.
Thank you so much, both of you, so much.
and if you'd like to stay with us throughout the meeting, that'd be fine. Okay, the next order of business, I guess would be new business. Save this date, I guess that is.
I'm gonna let Ms. Jacobs talk about that one.
So the 44th Annual Civil Service Conference, the registration is open for your choice of days and sessions that you would like to attend. So are any commissioners interested in attending any of the days that are offered?
I will say that the first day, October 21st, is really not relevant to the work of this commission. So if you were going to attend this, if you wanted to hear more about basic training for new commissioners and staff, wait a minute, nope, that's the second half of the first day. So that could be useful, especially for you, Commissioner Wells, since you're our newest commissioner. Did you get to attend that last year?
I did do it last year.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
great.
I think I'm going to be out of town on the 22nd.
Okay.
That's currently the plan. We're going to be in Chelan, but if it's smoky over there, I won't be going. So I might register, and then it's all online, isn't it? So it's something I could listen to. I mean,
It is, and since it's online, I'm guessing that they'll keep registration open for a while. We can contact Foster Garby and see if they are gonna allow, day before or day of registration, so you could have a sense of whether or not you will be available.
right. That sounds fine. Or I
Let's-
can just register and then, plan to listen in when I can. I mean,
Okay. Well, let Ms. Jacobs know if you do want to register, and we can pay for that registration for you. There is a cost this year.
oh, there's a cost, huh? I don't think there was a cost last year.
Yeah, I think they've just started charging again this year. But we can get you registered. If you think you're likely to do it, then we would want to get you on there.
All right, let me give it some thought.
Okay.
I'll get back to you by early next week. I'm seeing the people that we're traveling with on Thursday, so I'll have a
That
better
sounds
idea.
good. That
Okay.
sounds good. And Commissioner Caesar, same for you. If you want to register, get in touch with Ms. Jacobs. She'll help you pay for your registration and get you all. I don't know how she wants to do it, however she wants to do it.
How much it is?
$50.
I think it's like 50 or $55. It's not a huge amount. And it's probably different amounts if you, I mean, it's probably more if you do both days.
But 50 for one day, probably.
I think so.
It says there's a discount rate, but they are not advertising.
You don't want to have that done against your, you built your own department.
We're still having, the training that we're having is on the 10th, right?
That's right. That's about disciplinary appeals, commission appeals.
Right.
Yep.
I just remember last year, there was a lot of history about Civil Service Commission,
Yes.
which was interesting. All right, I'll look at the agenda and see what I think.
Great. So I think I did mention this also, but the joint meeting with the Public Safety Civil Service Commission is scheduled for November 20th on, at 10 a.m. And, we like to have people in person if we can for that one. We will, I'm sure, figure out some snacks or something like that. It's kind of a nice time to get together with your fellow commissioners. So if you can make the trip, that would be wonderful. But if you cannot, we still want you
No, I
participate
plan to be
remotely.
in person. I'll be in person for all the meetings in November, December.
Okay.
Not a problem. I say that as long as I don't get sick.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
been
If
sick
you're
for
sick,
2 weeks, so I don't expect to be
Oh.
sick in November and December.
oh, good. Put it in your calendar that you'll be healthy. I'm sure. I'll put it in mine too.
I will.
But back to you.
Okay. Next order of business, is to adjourn, unless there's, anything else needs to be said.
No,
Is there a motion? Can you make a motion?
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
I second that motion. All those in
All
favor?
aye.
Aye. But this motion, all those opposed, say no. Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
2:43.
Okay.
Goodbye to me.
Let's do it. Thank you.
All right, see you guys later. Thank you.
Take care.
Okay.
Well,
Uh-huh. Bye-bye.
Bye.